The New Year and Christmas celebrations in Syria have been limited to prayers without congratulations in view of current events in the country and in honor of Syria's noble martyrs. A religious mass was held at the Maryamite Cathedral for the Greek Orthodox in Damascus, marking the New Year. The mass was headed by Patriarch Yohanna X Yazigi of Antioch and all the Orient for the Greek Orthodox. In a word he delivered on this occasion, the Patriarch called for dialogue and peace to build Syria. Patriarch Yazigi said the Syrian and Lebanese peoples are linked with strong bonds based on the principles of coexistence. He greeted the people of Palestine, the cradle of Jesus Christ, and those of Iraq and the entire Arab Orient. Minister of Religious Endowments Dr. Muhammad Abdul Sattar al-Sayyid and Patriarch Yazigi have affirmed that the Syrian example of Islamic Christian brotherhood and moderation tend to safeguard the homeland from all dangers. During his meeting with the Patriarch at the Maryamite Cathedral in Damascus, the minister said Arab civilization was built with the hands of both Muslims and Christians, adding that Syria will remain the torch guiding nations in terms of religious tolerance. He said the Syrians' deep awareness is the guarantee that this country will emerge victorious over the conspiracies hatched against it. Similar masses and celebrations were held in various governorates on the occasion of the New Year. The speeches called for igniting the spirit of brotherhood among all citizens in the interest of good and peace for all citizens. In Aleppo and on the occasion of the New Year, citizens crowded in al-Sulaymaniya neighborhood, lighting candles and praying to God for peace and stability to prevail throughout the country. They recalled with tears in their eyes how the armed terrorist groups had destroyed their homes and schools and obstructed their means of livelihood. Syrian army units targeted terrorists' hideouts in al-Diabiya, al-Bahdaliya, al-Husayniya and Hujjera areas in Damascus suburbs, eliminating a large number of them and destroying their weapons, cars and mortar guns. In Yabrud and al-Nabik in Damascus suburbs, army units also killed and wounded a number of terrorists and destroyed their arms and ammunition.
New parties, the People's Party, Syria the Homeland Party and the Patriots Rally in the Land of Expatriation Party have declared their step of joining the National Democratic Bloc to unify efforts, promote the national political movement and recruit potentials, ideas and programs in order to find a way out of the crisis in Syria and build the country with the hands of all its citizens. Under the title The Syrians Say No to Arms and Yes to the Dialogue of the Mind, ideas were raised during the Democratic National Bloc's Party's conference, voicing resolve to work earnestly in order to delineate Syria's future and emphasizing support for the Syrian Arab Army to perform its task against those who carry arms. The conference rejected acts of violence and foreign intervention and called for organizing popular committees within a legal framework, urging for lawsuits to be filed and memos to be presented to the UN and international organizations against the persons and institutions that instigate the Syrian people. The participants also called for organizing a national forum of dialogue for the national opposition's parties and commissions to solve the crisis in Syria and outline the mechanisms needed in order to keep Syria free, strong and dignified.
It's the fate of all who are tempted to encroach on the Syrians and their public or private property. Morik is like other towns which were hit by the terrorism and crimes committed by some mercenary groups that wreaked havoc and devastation, pushing its residents to seek help from the Syrian Arab Army, who immediately responded to the call. So some of the army units cleared the area of the abominable Takfiri groups, killing many of them and forcing the rest to flee away and to announce their surrender. Units of our valiant army also seized large quantities of weapons, including automatic guns, large amounts of ammunition, RPG launchers, different kinds of machine guns, Doshka, PKC and NATO guns, as well as a mortar gun and its shells. Our armed forces also pounded many terrorist hideouts and destroyed them completely, and also destroyed a pickup equipped with Doshka with many grenades and pistols, asserting that Syrian Arab Army is able to protect Syria and its people.
In Homs, army units seized amounts of weapons, ammunition and sophisticated communication devices in Deir al-Balba. The seized weapons included mortar rounds, shotguns of Doshka machine gun, shotguns of PKC machine gun, grenades, bombs, RPG launchers, in addition to sophisticated communication devices and a field hospital. A source told Sana that various weapons and ammunitions were also seized in Hassia city and Homs countryside. The army also arrested a number of terrorists, including Khalid Hassoun al-Jal'oud, nicknamed Abi Shanagil, the leader of an armed terrorist group called Battalion of Al-Harar Hassia, Ibrahim al-Homsi, Sanad Marwan al-Rawli, Muhammad Deeb, Hayyan al-Ali and Mustafa Deeb. An army unit destroyed a mortar and a locally made platform with 4 rockets mounted on it and targeted terrorist gathering in Al-Nasiriyah area in Tel Daw, Homs countryside.